Trump supporters in Pennsylvania over the weekend protested the alleged election corruption taking place there. Some protesters told us they're not looking for any outcomes in the election. Instead, they just want the truth. NTD's Miguel Moreno has that story.
What do we want to count?
Trump supporters came to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania over the weekend in support of a fair election and the re-election of President Trump. While a number of protesters were saying they were there to stop the election from being stolen, others said it's not so much about the outcome. Rather, it's about snuffing out any potential corruption and doing the right thing.
I'm here to support our president, litigate as much as he can, not to win.
I'm here because I want to see I want to see an election that has integrity. I want all the votes to be counted, all the legal votes, not just random votes that popped up overnight. And I'm here because it's the right thing to do.
Casey Seymour from Louisiana didn't say she supported Trump. She said that she doesn't think Pennsylvania is following the law.
No, I'm not about any certain outcome of the election. I want the Constitution to be upheld, what's written in our Constitution. You know, because without that, we have no laws. More people need to have this mentality, this state of mind. If they did, I think we would really make some progress.
Philadelphia specifically has been shrouded in controversy. According to testimonies from ballot counting observers and video taken by our sister media, the Epoch Times, election ballots were counted in areas where observers could not inspect them properly. For this reason, the president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, said they'd start suing on Monday. Despite this, errors in election software in other states and incomplete results, a number of networks have declared Democratic candidate Joe Biden the winner, as he has himself. In an interview with ABC News over the weekend, the South Dakota governor questioned why people are afraid to look into the concerns some people have about corruption in this year's election.
So, George, I don't know how widespread it is. I don't know if it'll change the outcome of the election. But why is everybody so scared just to have a fair election and find out?
The Democratic Pennsylvania State Secretary has told the public that their ballot counting methods are incredibly secure. But the Pennsylvania Republican House Speaker has asked the governor, a Democrat, to conduct a full audit or investigation of the election results before they're finalized. Miguel Moreno, NTD News.
And another Stop the Steal rally was held in Michigan over the weekend. Around 1,000 gathered outside of the state capitol to demand a fair election. That's after one Michigan county reported skewed results, which, when counted, flipped the county from Biden to Trump. Some are concerned that the problem may be more widespread and demand officials to take a closer look at the issue. Our reporter Vivian Lafarge went to see why the group was insistent about keeping their momentum.
The fraud has to be investigated. If it's there, it'll come out and it'll be for everyone to see. But a city clerk coming out saying that they counted ballots and there's 6,000 ballots off from the machine, somebody programmed that machine. And this isn't a little guy. This is big.
He's referring to the supposed software glitch, initially said to be caused by Dominion voting systems. Many Michigan voters at this rally tell us they believe the problem was caused by suspicious behavior meant to ensure a Biden victory.
But I found it very weird how the election just, they stopped counting the votes right when it seemed like Trump was winning. And I stayed up, well into the morning, and I found at 4 a.m. there was like 150,000 ballots that went exclusively to Joe Biden. Now, my mom has a friend who's an auditor, and she said that's statistically impossible. Even New York's bluest districts have votes that go something like 20% to Trump or something like that.
And all of a sudden, those 100% count for Biden. Like the con is on, and the American people they're awake to it. So
they're referring to a situation that happened around 5 a.m. when data from Decision Desk headquarters updated the vote count, adding more than 130,000 votes to Biden and not one to Trump. But 40 minutes later, it was updated again, subtracting over 110,000 votes from Biden's total and adding more than 6,000 to Trump's. Later blaming the discrepancy on a clerical error in Shiawassee County. An independent voter there said he's never been a solid Trump supporter, but finds the inconsistencies suspicious.
You look around here and, they just try to say, oh, if you're a conspiracy theorist, you're a white supremacist if you're standing up for the truth here. And it's like, they're just going to sweep it under the rug. They're going to sweep all the truth under the rug. And, if you want to give me a second. We can talk about what was going on in election night when Trump had a steady lead in all the swing states. And then out of just nowhere, you look at like Wisconsin. There was just like a crazy surge. This is bigger than the Republican Party. This is about our country. This is about the integrity of our institutions, our finest institutions. If you can't trust our electoral process, what can you trust?
And another attendee was a little less direct with his comments, but says he's there to make a statement that they will not give up until there's a thorough investigation into the topics at hand.
What do you hope to see today? What are you most excited about seeing here?
I think the public just needs to see a crowd, that we're not done fighting, that we have a long ways to go, we're not going to give up.
Now, Michigan lawmakers are investigating vote counts in the election process, after the Republican-led Oversight Committee issued a subpoena Saturday, requesting to review documents related to the election process. Another concern discussed at Saturday's rare hearing was what was deemed suspicious activity at the TFC Center in Detroit. Some claimed that GOP poll watchers were kicked out under the excuse of room capacity. One Democrat poll watcher claims that there were always more GOP watchers than Democratic ones, but we cannot independently verify how many watchers from each party were actually in the counting room that day. Official numbers have not been made public. Reporting by Vivian Lafarge, Lynn Wan, and Melina Weiskup, NTD News.
And thousands gathered in multiple cities in California over the weekend. They're protesting against the alleged voter fraud in Los Angeles and California Capitol Hills in Sacramento.
Marion and Jim Belanger are from Beverly Hills. They say they're not happy with the nation's alleged ballot fraud and the legacy media's decision to broadcast Biden as the winner while vote count issues remain unresolved.
Well, we don't have any mainstream media. We have state-run TV, and many of the news places are just Biden cronies and the Democratic machine.
More and more citizens across the nation are now coming out to demand transparency in ballot counting.
We want every legal vote to be counted. And so we're just out here to support our community and other people that want it to be truly fair, not pushed through, not fake, pushed through, and with transparency. All the Democrats want transparency all the time about everything, but not about this. It doesn't make any sense.
One rally-goer pointed out that the American desire for a fair election isn't a partisan issue, instead one that's essential to democracy on both sides of the aisle.
You don't look as a Democrat, you don't look as a Republican, but you look as an American that wants your vote to actually count. Why wouldn't you want people to poll watch, both Democrat and Republican? Why wouldn't you want that? You want to have transparency, and that hasn't happened at all. It shattered all of people's trust in the whole system, and it's unfortunate.
Still, others proposed ideas for next steps.
Try to fix something that was done when no witnesses to watch. I think there should be another election, in those states with some sort of a foolproof, ballots, some way where there's nobody could cheat.
Ken immigrated from mainland China following the 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre. He told us he had never thought polling fraud could happen in the U.S.
I came here as a foreign student. Now I am a U.S. citizen. It doesn't matter who becomes the president eventually, but people need to be honest. You cannot steal the election by ballot fraud. This is going to destroy democracy.